My name is Ayden Syal. I'm Chief Revenue Officer for SBJ. Welcome to this edition of SBJ Executive Insight. This particular edition is brought to you from Vegas. We are here at the SBJ Intercollegiate Athletics Forum. My guests today, gentlemen, are from MOGL. We have Ayden Syal, CEO, and Brandon Wimbush, Chief Athletic Director. Welcome, gentlemen. Well, let's go ahead and talk about MOGL. Obviously, for those of you who have been dialing into the Intercollegiate Athletics Forum this morning, you heard right from the stage, the number one topic facing college athletics, of course, is NIL. That is the dominant, pervasive theme and conversation here in Vegas and certainly beyond. But I'm very interested in what I have learned about is a very unique approach that MOGL has to NIL. And the more I learned about your organization and the path that you guys have taken from college roommates to now business partners is one of much more of an inclusive and open source model to NIL. So we're going to talk a little about that. Ayden, to look at it from another point of view, what have you seen in terms of how the administration, the institution, and ADs in particular, let's talk about what institutions can do.
Yeah, Ayden, I think one of the things that excites us most about MOGL and name, image, and likeness in general is that athletic departments and administrations throughout the country across all divisions and all levels of play have started to really commit themselves to building NIL programs for their student athletes. We've observed over the last 6 months especially a resurgence in the energy put forward towards name, image, and likeness activities. And it's not just the one-off sponsorship opportunities that Brandon was talking about. It's not, hey, we need to have an NIL program in place so that our athletes can get the deal with the local burger shop. It's going far beyond that. One of the things that's really unique about name, image, and likeness is that it helps athletes to build a holistic presence and work professional skills and work on building for career after sport. And universities are starting to recognize that too. So, we've spoken with hundreds of universities throughout the country over the past few months, and one of the consistent themes that we've heard from them is that they need a much more holistic solution, both technologically and support and service-wise, in order to provide their student athletes with the best support and care throughout name, image, and likeness.
What types of technological support? I know that's getting a little bit granular, but it definitely has piqued my curiosity. Like, what are schools actually putting in terms of infrastructure for these students?
Right. So over the course of the first year of name, image, and likeness, there was a number of kind of technological vendors and services available. One of the things that schools have voiced kind of concern or disappointment in is the lack of compliance infrastructure that's in place, the lack of disclosures that they're receiving from their student athletes who they know are doing a number of deals. Following recent NCAA interim policy updates, we now have to integrate at a far deeper level with collectives as well, especially recognizing that universities are adopting and accepting collectives at a far greater level, which is awesome. Collectives are doing incredible work, but those collectives need to integrate with the technology that universities are using as well. Taking it one step further, one of the things that we're working on at MOGL is really making sure that universities have the technology to connect their entire network to student athletes, not just brands and partners and local businesses, but alumni, employers, and fans, because that's what's going to be the next frontier of name, image, and likeness, is allowing universities the ability to harness the power of their networks to really support their student athletes in a way like we've never seen before.
You obviously were a Division I athlete playing football, a revenue-generating sport for Notre Dame. What have you seen in terms of impacts, opportunities for those in non-revenue-generating sports? And what would be your advice, either, again, cautionary tale or opportunity for those folks?
Yeah. Well, our platform specifically, Ayden, has done a tremendous job, and kudos to Ayden and his vision and thesis coming into this, with creating this idea. But we understood that those top 2% of athletes, the Trevor Lawrences and the Zion Williamsons, are the two examples we've used from day one, that they were going to have agency representation and be okay on the monetization side, and all the resources, have all the resources necessary for them to really build their own personal brands. But then there's other 495,000 athletes who weren't going to have the resources to monetize this in a safe and compliant
It's a big
manner.
number.
Yeah, right. We were like, okay, those 5 to 10,000 would be okay, but then these 490,000 other athletes still need a way to do this, and we wanted to create a solution for them to do that at scale and really be able to service all those athletes. And I think we've done a really good job of that, with 65% of the revenue that we've generated to this point being from non-revenue generating athletes. And then everything, obviously football outnumbers every other sport, but 70% of our athletes are from non-generating revenue sports. So, we feel really comfortable about where we're going. The brands that are on our platform recognize the value that all of those other athletes have, because college athletes are such a targeted, they have such a targeted audience, and the brands that we work with and that understand NIL, they're agnostic to, the athletes that they're working with. They're just like, okay, we want to work with athletes in this geographical location because we want to grow in this area. And that gives opportunity to really every athlete, no matter what sport, no matter what sex you are. So it's been phenomenal to see the value that our platform can provide for non-revenue generating sports.
Well, we are almost at time. So last word to both of you. In the next 6 months, what's going to change about NIL? Ayden, you first.
Yeah, I think that over the next 6 months, we're going to see universities start to become more and more involved within name, image, and likeness beyond where they even have been. We've already observed universities working hand in hand with their collectives, but also what really excites us at MOGL is that universities are collaborating and working directly with their student athletes to identify the appropriate solution and build the right NIL program for all of their student athletes, not just the starting point guard or the starting quarterback. Yeah. That really helps us because obviously the platform that we've built is built to provide equal access and equal opportunity for all, but we also develop and create name, image, and likeness opportunities for all as well. So we're relieving a lot of the burden that's been placed historically on schools, and taking that off their shoulders with leading technology.
Got it. Brandon, last word. What's coming up?
Athletes just demanding more, and we want to be a voice and a consistent voice for athletes in this space, but I think they're going to continue to demand more, understand their market value, and I think there's going to be so much better collaboration between athletes and brands, well beyond, again, just that one-off social media post.
All right, folks, thanks so much for a great conversation. Ayden, Brandon, love chatting with you, learning all about MOGL and where you think NIL is headed. This is Ayden Syal signing off from SBJ Executive Insight.